Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw for Insider Travel Report, and I'm here today with a familiar face. We've interviewed him before, Lee Hazlitt, who's Chief Commercial Officer for Celestial Cruises. Now, I literally just a month ago got off their Celestial's Gulf of Arabia cruise. It was one of the last ones that he did for the season, and I had a marvelous time on Celestial Journey. And they actually had another ship join them briefly down there too, Celestial Discovery. We're going to talk to Lee about how the season went in their very first Gulf of Arabia cruise season and a whole lot more on Insider Travel Report. Lee, first of all, great to see you. Sorry you couldn't join us on that wonderful cruise.
No, I would have loved to have been there. I was actually in Praes, in the port, actually walking around the Celestial Discovery that week, the ship that
Oh, yes, because you
we've
were
recently done some investments in. So yes.
I thought we're going to talk about that. You just did a refit for that. Let's talk about that the Gulf of Arabia cruise season. How did the whole season go, and how well booked were your ships?
It's been an excellent first season. I kind of pause there when I say season because it was a shorter season
Right.
of our first season, almost a test before we go back. I keep saying next year, but this year we'll be down in the Gulf again in November this year. But the season's been really strong. Delighted with how it's gone. We were about 35% ahead of our guest target, so we tracked well in front of the numbers that we were hoping to achieve. So it was a very good first season. As with any new deployment, and for us as a company, we're really expanding outside of that Eastern
Right.
Mediterranean heartland and taking our proposition outside of that and over to the Gulf. There's lots of lessons for us to take. But in general, really good customer feedback. Delighted with the itinerary and how well it's gone.
Mhm.
And of course, absolutely delighted that we achieved the occupancy levels that we have. So yeah, very good.
Yeah, well, it was the cruise I was on seemed pretty well booked. It was a lot of folks, and they enjoyed their time. And you did have, I guess you ended up Celestial Discovery joined for the end of the that, as you said, abbreviated season. How did both ships perform? Did they meet your expectations from a physical plant status that they really delivered what they you hoped they would?
Yeah, so I guess first off, we had the journey in the Gulf for this season, and it's done incredibly well. We took the Discovery at the start of March 24. We put the Discovery into service in the Mediterranean. We'll have both ships for the first time in the Gulf, in the Arabian Gulf in November this year. So Discovery and Journey will both position down in late October, early November. So we'll have both ships there. The Journey performed very well in the Gulf. I think that ship it's really well designed for
Mhm.
7 night cruising, lots of public space, but still a mid-sized, smaller vessel, which means that we can get into other ports that sometimes others can't. And I think I had the pleasure. I think you did the final sailing.
Yeah.
I did the first sailing. And we pride ourselves at Celestial on trying to design, and we believe that we deliver on this, design itineraries that have hidden gems of ports as well as those iconic ports. And we really believe that within our peer set, we're the leading cruise line when it comes to late stays and long days. And if I
Right.
look at how well I think the journey performed, I think the ports and the destinations were equally as good as as good as the ship. So if I look at Dubai as a 2 day overnight stay in Dubai, Dubai Harbour, beautiful port, brilliant infrastructure there, great shore experiences. Similarly with Qatar and Doha, but then we had great ports. Hopefully, you had the opportunity to enjoy places like Kasab and Oman, which is
Yeah, no,
you
we
can go.
enjoyed it. We were on a lovely Dow cruise
Yes,
in the Gulf, amazing day, and then we also enjoyed Bahrain too, which was a first for me. I had done Oman before, but not Kasab, and I
Kasab.
definitely
I did the you must have done the same shore experience that I did, and on the local dhow going through the
yeah
fjords, and it was just amazing seeing the dolphins in the wild there, and it was just it was a really really beautiful port. And then then as you say, then you find yourself in Bahrain or Qatar or Doha or Abu Dhabi, which are much more iconic ports. So
yeah
it's a fantastic itinerary, and yeah, sure we've spoken about this before, but when we look at a lot of the data, really good mix of guests from a nationalities perspective, but just in general, that region, the port infrastructure is just leading, and at the same time, the region is growing from a
yeah
tourism perspective, and over the next 5-10 years, it will be one of the, if not the fastest growing cruise area because you've got it from a land stay and the airlift into the region, and now the port infrastructure's there, and the cruise lines are definitely starting to increase their deployment there. And I think we'll have certainly in some of those ports next year, we're going to have more calls than any other cruise line when we've got
yeah.
two ships there. So that
That's going to be amazing, and so right now the cruise consists of Qatar or Qatar, as we say, and then we did Bahrain, we did Dubai, and then we did Oman, and then we did Abu Dhabi. Is there going to be any change for the season next year? Are you going to add any other destinations?
Yes, we are. So as I said earlier, we'll have both ships in the Gulf, one home port in Doha, Qatar, and then one home port in Abu Dhabi. So we will be sharing more details actually from a press perspective over the next couple of weeks on our
Okay.
partnership with Abu Dhabi. But we'll have the Discovery doing 3 and 4 night itineraries on a Monday, Friday. So you'll have a weekend itinerary and you'll also have a midweek itinerary. So the Discovery, which we're really excited about, you can actually cruise on that as a 7 nights. You can do both the 3 and the 4 back to back, and it's a really
Mhm.
nice itinerary that doesn't have much repeat to it. Or you can do it as a land stay and a cruise. And I think if you look at the itinerary, you can set off on the Friday from Abu Dhabi. You'll be in Dubai on the Saturday for a long day in Dubai, and then you'll have a beach day on the Sunday in Sabamiya. So it's a really nice 3 night long weekend, but it's a great way as well um, if you haven't seen Sabamiya or you just want to get out and see the region and cruise around it and see that skyline of Dubai and do a pre-stay. But then what's equally exciting for us is the 4 night midweek product, which is really good, which takes in Kasab, a port Doha as well. So it'll go up to Doha. You'll also do Dubai and then Ras Al Khaimah, which we're
Yeah,
really excited.
that would be a new one. Yeah, and I hear good things about that place. I've never been there.
Ras Al Khaimah is a phenomenal destination, and we'll be, I think, one of the only cruise lines that's calling there next year. We're fortunate that the Discovery is a smaller vessel that we can actually get into the port. Even Journey can't get into Ras Al Khaimah, so Discovery can. So it's a beautiful destination, lots of investment. And we're doing something really special there, that we're doing a really long day. So we'll arrive first thing in the morning, and we won't leave until around kind of midnight that evening. And we'll be designing some really differentiated shore experiences for that long day, in partnership with the tourist board and our partners in the region. So it's going to be that Monday to Friday itinerary is a beautiful itinerary. Again, as I say, if you got a flight into Dubai or Abu Dhabi and did a weekend in Abu Dhabi exploring the beautiful city, you could then be cruising around places like Ras Al Khaimah, go up to Qatar, as well as going to Oman, all in a seven day trip if need be, if that's what you wanted to do. So yeah, fantastic. And then the other great thing is, by positioning the two vessels down to the Gulf, so from Athens down to Doha, or Athens down to Abu Dhabi, we'll be taking in some great ports through Egypt, and calling in Jeddah and Saudi Arabia for the first time. We'll also be going to Jordan and Aqaba in Jordan. So we have a couple of really nice repositioning cruises, which we're calling. We're calling them ancient Athens to amazing Abu Dhabi, and
No,
we'll
that's wonderful.
also be back in Abu Dhabi for the Abu Dhabi F1. So we'll be there for the
Oh yeah, I was thinking when we were in that area, you could really do an F1 cruise, all the different all the different destinations there that
yeah.
have Grand
I
Prix
I,
races.
I was incredibly fortunate that last year when we did the first sailing, I got to go to the Qatar and the Abu Dhabi F1 on board us.
Wow.
So it was a great sailing. So we'll be in Abu Dhabi for the F1 with the journey. The journey will be there, and the ship will arrive for practice. Qualifying on the Saturday, and then we'll stay all the way through to the depart on the early hours of the Monday morning, which means that guests can do a full day at the circuit for the race day on Sunday, as well as doing and taking in things like the concerts that they have in
Mhm.
the evening. So yeah, and we can supply guests with tickets. You can do again. You could arrive into Abu Dhabi on the Friday, get on board us, do 2 days at the Formula One, and then cruise off and see all the region, and end up either back in Abu Dhabi on the Friday, or you could stay on and leave us in Qatar and fly home there. So yeah,
That sounds great.
brilliant product. Yeah, definitely worth doing, and it is amazing. And what's even better is the last race of the season, so it's always quite a if we have a good F1 season where it's competitive, then it's the one after Vegas, I believe, the one before Vegas before they go
Right.
to Qatar. So yeah, a very good themed cruise. Let's call it that.
There you go, an F1 themed cruise. That's pretty cool. And I'd love to do that. That sounds fantastic. Now, of course, you mentioned that you're hoping to add Egypt and Jordan and all that. I assume is predicated on you being able to get your ships through the Red Sea, and whether we thought it was getting close, and now it seems to have backtracked for a little bit. But maybe, hopefully, by the time you have to go back, it's going to be okay. Because I know what you did with the Celestial Journey is you took it all the way around Africa to get it to Doha, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So of course, it's predicated on what we focus on first and foremost with any cruise, which is safety and security of our crew and our guests. So if it's safe to, we will position both ships through the Red Sea. Um, as you rightly referenced, we were so committed to our new season in the Gulf that we took the decision to position the ship 34 days all the way around the Cape of Africa with no
Wow.
revenue, to ensure that we were there for our first season. Hence my reference earlier about it almost being a bit of a test season, because we lost a month of the season.
Right.
We haven't publicized this, but we have just repositioned the journey, obviously back from Doha back to Athens through the Red Sea. Been
You
back in
did. You made it through. Okay.
it's been back in the Eastern Mediterranean and in the Mediterranean now in Athens for the past week and a bit. So that was safe for us to do so. But we'll continue to monitor, like all cruise lines are, our deployment based on safety and monitoring those geopolitical issues. We know the world that we are living in at the moment.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we will continue to monitor that. So, hopefully, if our plans stay as they are, it will be a great opportunity to cruise through the top of the Red Sea there. So, yeah.
No, that's fantastic. Now, of course, my reaction. I know you didn't do that as a revenue cruise around Africa, but boy, that would be a heck of a cruise to go around Africa and take it as a revenue cruise and see all the ports around Africa that we probably never even thought existed.
Yeah, I agree, and I think one of the things we'll look at as we continue to invest and evolve our business is what do some of those positioning cruises potentially expand or look like in the future, and that could one day be the case. The challenge for us obviously was it was a late decision we had to
Yeah.
make. We managed to do it as quick, and it doesn't sound very quick, but we managed to do it at that speed of 34 days, mainly because we didn't stop very much. So
Right.
actually, when you start stopping in ports, it turns into
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
guess it would be almost a world cruise of Africa, if you will.
Exactly. So you're probably talking more like 60 days than you are 34 days. So we're building a platform that we really believe that we're building a brand and an experience that we can take to, and we've proved now with what we've done with the Heavenly Adriatics, that we've got many of them this year. We had one last year. We're up to 9 or 10 deployments of that this year, where we've proved that we can expand outside of just the Greek islands to the Adriatic Sea and going up to Italy and Croatia and Montenegro. And then, what we're referencing with our Desert Days itinerary, we've proved that we can deliver a brilliant experience and take our brand and our business to the Arabian Gulf. So who knows, maybe in the future you'll see that world cruise and see a celestial ship
Why
popping up
not?
in
Well,
other ports around the world.
yeah, you did a marvelous job with the Gulf of Arabia cruise from my perspective, and I'm looking forward to those other destinations you're going to add there too. Now, I want to talk a little bit about some of the onboard product and what travel advisors should expect. I guess I didn't realize it, but you actually do commission your shore excursions at these ports, and travel advisors can book them in advance, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we pay commission to our travel advisors on all shore excursions, as long as they're booked via the travel advisor. So the travel advisor can advise their guest, passenger, and they'll get paid their whatever their commission is
Mhm.
on that. So yeah, I think there's over 52 available shore
Oh
experiences
yeah,
for
no, then we had a
days.
lot of them. Yeah, we went on at least two a day sometimes, and they were really fantastic. Now, the other thing is that you earlier this year, or I guess it was maybe like last year, you announced changes to your dining and beverage programs, and were those the ones that we experienced on the cruise just now, or will you be changing them in the future?
So officially, we moved to one fare product called Celestial One.
Right.
That starts it's just started. Just looking at the date there. So it started on our first Mediterranean cruise of the season, which was Friday just gone. So what you saw in the Arabian Gulf wasn't the
Okay.
fully new fare product. So we're moving to, yes, one fare product, which means it includes all of it includes dine-in beverages, so tea, filter coffee, water, juices, all in the main restaurant, free pouring sodas during meals, complimentary basic Wi-Fi, all of our entertainment gratuities, port fees, with no hidden surprise costs, all in one fare. So we no longer have multiple of different fares from experience to experience plus, just nice and simple Celestial One, which was feedback that we had from our guests, but more importantly for us, our great travel advisor community that said if there's one thing you can do with being a small cruise line with a small fleet is simplify your fare product, make it
Right.
really easy for us to sell to our clients, and it enables us to be very competitive from a pricing perspective. We're a highly inclusive kind of upper, with the investment we've made in the two vessels, an upper kind of premium boutique cruise line where you've got majority of what you need included in that one fare. And then what we did on beverage packages is we did a lot of research and spoke to, again, a lot of guests and a lot of travel advisors. And they spoke about how a lot of guests get overwhelmed or confused about beverage packages and which beverage package is the right
Right.
one to have. And you also have to understand that our experience is very different. I don't want to compare us to another cruise line. It's quite hard at times to compare us to another cruise line because if you're doing one of the 3 or 4 night itineraries in the Gulf or in the Mediterranean, you're doing 2 ports a day. And also, if you look at the long stays in destinations, the late stays, our guests want to be in the destination, and they wanted that simplicity of
Right.
do I need a $45 or $50 a day beverage package that has all these different things, or do I just want simplicity? So we introduced Celestial Pay, which is a food and beverage tab concept, which enables guests to preload that. And if they
Right.
preload it, they then unlock a bonus, which means that they'll get a bonus of extra Celestial Pay, and then they just spend it on what they want. So if they want to go into a specialty dining restaurant and they want to use it for that, they can. If they want to just buy a cocktail or a coffee or a water, they don't have to worry at all. From a service perspective, it's really strong because our crew are not worried about what drinks package you're on or what
Right.
beverage package you're on. And this innovative approach it's really enabled guests, but also advisors, to talk to their guests about how to plan out to maximize their cruise. And one of the things that we're excited about is very soon we will have a new tool, an AI based tool, which is designed for the agent advisor community, but also guests, where they can actually put in there what they're looking to do on their cruise, and it will suggest how much Celestial Pay you need based on what you like to drink or what you like to do, or do you want to try the specialty restaurant, and it will give you a proposed kind of this is what you should do with pay and this is what the bonus you'll get. And then also for advisors, they get commission on that pay as well.
That's
So
fantastic. That's not something, it's a little bit out of the ordinary from what advisors experience today with other lines. So that's a great advantage. But you mentioned the specialty restaurants will continue to be a la carte, meaning you pay under your plan, but also you're going to pay a price per entree and different things on the menu for the specialty restaurants, right?
that's correct. So we've got which you would have seen. We've got the our main buffet restaurant, if you like. So casual dining restaurant at Taverna, and then you have as well the our other main restaurant, which is available to everyone. And then we have, depending on the ship, we have some specialty restaurants as well. So we have Pink Moon, which is our
Right.
kind of Pan Asian restaurant, which is has a charge to it, and then we also have Smoked Olive, which is available for our suite guests, but also um, uh, any cabin can pay for that upgrade as well. And then we have Grill Seekers, which is our kind of steak and seafood restaurant, which has a charge to it. And we're evolving those concepts as we speak at the moment. So we've got some exciting new food concepts that are coming to those three restaurants. So
Well,
yes,
I love the Asian restaurant, and I also like the Grill Seekers. I thought it was excellent for a good steak and that. So I understand that. And then, of course, we had a marvelous presentation of your mixology program. The
okay,
crew seemed to delight in giving us drinks we'd never seen or heard of before. just as we had the whole crew of journalists on board, but that seemed to be wonderful as well. And I assume that's also something that's for pay or part of the package program that you're offering.
That's correct. I mean, we've won a lot of awards for our mixology and our cocktails. And yeah, I've been on board and been impressed with those cocktails, and then certainly had a sometimes a sore head in the morning. But they they do a phenomenal job on board. For those, that's the great thing. If you load your Celestial Pay prior, you get your bonus.
Mhm.
You just free you can free purchase those. So they're all part of our onboard experience. So you're talking anything from probably $11. I'm just trying to do the exchange rate, $11 to $17 for one of those cocktails, depending on which one.
Which isn't bad, considering what they are. I mean, many of them involved a lot of smoke. I don't know. So, as
The
very,
smoke and
very
foam, and yeah,
presentations were spectacular, I got to tell you.
and I think if you try to get a cocktail of that quality in I don't know a bar in New York, you're not paying $11.
No, 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 that's not going to
So,
happen.
yeah, it's great value for sure.
Yeah, and I just want to touch also about your entertainment programs, which, are all part of the package. And I
Yep.
mean, we had marvelous music in all the lounges, but the production shows, I knew that from my previous time in at Celestial. But they are really marvelous. They're a lot of fun, and they get a great audience feedback.
Yeah, I mean, we have a brilliant team on board. We've also got fantastic length of service. So if I look at our cruise directors, I think you probably would have met Teresa and Vlad
Yeah,
on.
that's a she with that. We did interview Teresa about that, and we already posted an interview with her about that program. And I sort of secretly knew about that from as I said, from my previous cruises. But they do a marvelous job. They're wonderful singers and dancers. They have a lot of fun. And I think
Do
that
yeah.
if you see the audience applauding and standing, that you don't see that often, to be honest with you, even on some, and everybody's improving their entertainment, but they do a great job.
They do a brilliant job, and thank you for that feedback. We appreciate that. I think the great thing about our entertainment is they do a show every night. We do a
Yeah.
different variety. We do different takes on different shows depending on where we're deploying the ship as well. But what I love is we give them the license to really bring their personalities to life. And I've watched the team many times, rehearsing shows and getting ready, and we've got a brilliant production crew on board, and yeah, and we're going to continue to evolve that. We need to make sure that as we expand into and charter into kind of new waters, that we continue to make sure that we have a mixture of the local culture on board as well. And we're working with our team and some great companies in the Gulf and different places that will be deploying the ship in the Adriatic, just to make sure that we continue to bring to life the destinations that we're traveling to.
Which is glad because you have an immersion in the destination, and then on board you reflect that as well. Let's talk a little bit quickly about you're effectively a brand new launch of a line. As you got new itineraries, new ships, a new team. How are you working with the travel advisor community to help them sell your cruises better? How are you training them to understand all these different points, of the Celestial One fares and the packages you offer? As well as the fact that, some of these great benefits that you commission on both on food and also on the shore excursions.
Yeah, as you rightly say, we sometimes feel like we call ourselves sometimes a legacy startup.
Right.
We've got great heritage and history that we're building on. But we have completely changed the fleet, introduced new fare product, introduced new concepts like pay. And one thing that I'm really lucky but also proud of is that we have a brilliant team in North America, and all around the globe. and we really have global distribution. But from a North America perspective, we made a conscious decision to really double down on our investment. We built out a team of really talented industry professionals that know the industry, know how to get the best out of our advisor community. But what I've been really pleased with is that we took the time when we introduced our new team, and we took the time very early on, 18 months ago, to really speak to our advisors about, what do you need from us to help you sell us.
Right.
And we came up really with an internal program which was all about being the best at partnering. So giving our advisors the tools, but we talked about the commission we pay on Celestial Pay, the commission that we pay on shore experiences, as well as the cruise itself. But we introduced a new trade portal based on their feedback called the Celestial Compass, which is a platform. It launched in December, brand new investment. It's getting better every day with new content. That is the single reference point for agents. It has all our marketing assets in there. They can download flyers, campaigns, and it has all of that collateral and content that they need to promote us to their client base. So agents can sign up to celestialcompass.com, and then they can have access to all of our information. The platform incorporates, as I referenced in there, Celestial Campus, which is our training modules. So it focuses on all of the areas that you need to do from a training perspective. So anything they want to know about the brand, what it's like on board, key itineraries, shore excursions, there's training modules in there they can take. And then also in North America, which I'm really excited about, which I think you just can't beat, is that we're doing one of these campus at sea. So we are taking a number of advisors to the Mediterranean, to Athens this year, and we're taking a big group of advisors to do a campus at sea where we'll teach them, and they'll get to experience our product. The same product that you've seen. It's on board the Journey, I believe. So look out for those. You can find out information about those on Celestial Compass. We're really keen where we can to get people to see the product.
Well, I think if they do see it and they experience it, they'll understand it. And also, it's incredible value, the whole thing for the fare you are offering. I've never seen that quite, and it's. I've long said you guys were the best at introducing everyone to Greece, because you do more Os Islands, Syros, Samos, Mykonos, of course, and then the ones I donate, Milos. These are, and you do them sometimes one or two a day. And if
Yep.
you want to get to know Greece very well, it's a great product. And to lead into that, you're now starting the new season. You've already started, and you now have cruises both in the Aegean and, of course, the new itinerary in the Adriatic. Can you tell us a little bit about these cruises and where they go, and also which ships will sail on which itinerary?
Yeah, absolutely. So the way to think about our core Mediterranean program, which runs March to late November. Home ports in Piraeus. We home port one ship in Piraeus, Athens, and then we home port a second ship in Lavrion, Athens, which is actually quite closer to the airport than Piraeus, Athens, actually. So the two work really well. The Journey home ports in Piraeus, and it does two itineraries. Does the Heavenly Greece, Italy, and Croatia. And then it also does a variation. I'll come back to the other variation of that in a minute. But and then we have the second itinerary is the idyllic Greece, which is your Greek island. So if you look at the Heavenly Greece, Italy, and Croatia, sails from Athens, does Montenegro, Croatia, Italy, and then there's a variation of that in the summer, which I'm really excited about because I'm actually going to be sailing on board in August and doing this itinerary. It's the Heavenly Venice, Greece, and Croatia. So it goes up to Venice, which I'm looking forward to in August. And then we have the idyllic Greece, which takes in Crete, Santorini, Mykonos, Milos, and also takes in Kusadasi in Turkey. That so you can go and see that amazing port and go on the shore excursions to places like Ephesus. Um, and then we have, as I said, the Discovery, which does the iconic Greek islands, and that's the 3 and 4 night product on
Right.
a Monday, Friday. And that's taking you really deep into the Greek islands. Generally, two ports a day: Mykonos, Santorini, Heraklion and Crete, Rhodes, Kusadasi, and of course Patmos, which is one of my favorite
Yeah,
ports.
I did get to you with Patmos a while back, and it is a wonderful destination. But as you said, there are 300 Greek islands, and you give probably the best introduction to the most of them than any other cruise line. But there's always more to see, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I've been fortunate enough to do a few of our cruises, and every time there's something else to see, a different shore experience to do, different parts of the island to explore. So yeah, it's there's always something new to see.
Absolutely. And then now you have your Gulf of Arabia, so there's even more to see there, and you're expanding, as you said, to next year with a new ports, and then you'll also hopefully, you're going to be going to Egypt and Jordan as well. So these are all great things, great destinations for travel advisors to sell to their clients. Now, in that vein, we've gone through a lot here. Is
We
there
have
anything else you want to tell our 127,000 travel advisors about Celestial today and where it's going in the future?
we've covered a lot, so it's been a great conversation. I appreciate the opportunity. Look, I think when people think about Celestial, I'll go back to a comment you actually made, which is, we have transformed the business. It's like a new business, and when you're thinking about your client, your customer guest, remember that as a cruise line, we pride ourselves on, and our vision is to create unmissable experiences at sea and ashore. And we really believe that our difference is our hospitality is unrivaled, our crew ratio is incredibly high. We have over 32 different nationalities across our crew. So there's nobody that we can't speak to in their native language. We really are a boutique, upper premium mid-size cruise company, and we've got a brilliant mix of itineraries that have those hidden gems and iconic ports. And we really are the cruise line for long days and late stays, and we really immerse you in the destination. So I would really ask you to take a look at us when you're looking at the Greek islands, or you're looking at the Arabian Gulf, or the Adriatic going up to Italy, Croatia, and Montenegro. They're all really hot destinations for the North America market at the moment. And with Celestial One and Celestial Pay, we're really competitive, and we have a lot included. So go on to Celestial Compass and check us out, or reach out to one of our team in North America.
Fantastic. Well, Lee, again, I want to thank you for that. Was a great cruise, a great way to see. I'd done some destinations out there in the Gulf of Arabia. I knew them, but you delivered them very uniquely and very differently, and I saw a lot that I hadn't seen. So that was incredible. I've been to Dubai many times, but some of the things we did were different. And of course, Oman, as you've experienced the cruise we took. I'll admit that I kind of fell asleep on the way back, but we won't talk about that. There are photos, though, I hear, so
I
that's
think
the
I think me
problem.
and you both. I think I did.
But it was a marvel. I did wake up to see the dolphins, so that was what
Very
was
good.
important. But it was such a restful time there on the Dow that I kind of dozed off a little bit. Anyway, Lee, I hope we'll get together cruise sometime in the future. We should plan that F1 cruise. I think that would be.
Yes. Yeah, that would be a good one.
And again, thank you for taking the time today to speak with our 127,000 travel advisors.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.